Something is off about this tone today. It sounds quacky. I don't know what it is. But yeah, here we are, session, what is it? Session 383. I did some changes to this song visualizer. I improved. So you notice right now when the song's active, there's only a stop button. Sorry. When the song is paused, there's only a play button. And when the song is active, being played, there's less buttons being displayed because you can't click them, right? Like there's no quit button, there's no open Guitar Pro button, there's no open MP3 button because the song is active. I'm not going to click those buttons. The only buttons I'm going to click when the song is active is either stop or pause. When it's paused, the only button I'm going to click is play. And then when the song is stopped, it has all the other buttons back. And I also did something else in this version. There's a settings menu now, and there's a setting right now. So look at the song length. It's 506, lead and rhythm. You go to settings, you check this off, 6 measures sync intro. Now it's 521. You check it off, 521, back to 506, 506, back to 521. What this does, it introduces 6 measures sync introduction. So let's play it. Like we're gonna look. The first 4 measures are just generic notation. And the goal of this is when I'm doing multiple arrangements, I'm gonna sync. I usually when I multi-track, when I usually multi-track, I usually go by the first notes, which is not always accurate because you got human error, right? I may play the note late, and then that'll throw off my judgment of how to sync the song when there's multi-track. I was like, oh, the first notes align? Okay, great, but the rest of the song doesn't align. How do I know how to multi-track a song with multiple guitar arrangements? Especially if there's different timing on the first notes. It's kind of basic when you have two leads, and they both start the same time. But when you have like different start times, let's say you have half a measure blank on the alt lead and you have a lead that starts at the very beginning, it's more difficult to synchronize that. I mean, a little bit, but so the goal of this whole sync settings here is okay, the um you add this note artificially add this notation in for each arrangement. So that way when I'm after I record my playthrough and I go back and I want to mix the 2 arrangements or 3 arrangements for a song, I'm going to go by the synchronization effort. And wow, look at my fretboard. It's glitching out with all this noise. That's not good. I don't know if I'm feeling the Telecaster today. I was last time, but I'm kind of feeling like going towards the Gibson just because I know the Gibson has that tone. I was gonna go for this baseball bat because there's extra room to bend, right? With the baseball bat, this 50s Tele neck, vintage neck, there's extra space to bend the notes without taking the note above it. I always do bends up. I never bend down. If you're bending down, that's just strange. Well, I don't know if I want to play with this right now. Played with this last session. I think I'm going to do the Gibson SG after all. You know, it's been a while since I played with the SG. Let me go swap guitars. I'm going to chase that tone right now. And you know what's unbelievable is that the song Three Dimensional that I wrote with this program, well, still holds up, man. Still holds up. Alright, let me switch guitars. Wow, that's loud. Sorry about that. You know, it's crazy to think that within the past 30 seconds I just held $4,000 in my hand. Whoops. What I mean is this guitar was 2,000, the other guitar was 2,000. Play authentic, right? Don't get a chips in, right? All right, hold on. You know, I contemplated getting a chips in, but I decided to get a custom-made guitar made in Vietnam instead. Custom specs. Can't wait to get that and chug. It'll help if I plug this in. It's so easy to lose a pick. There it is. Alright, it's been a while since I played with this guitar. The string height is noticeably high. It's okay, that's how Stevie played. Stevie played, you know. Evertune bridge, we'll see if it's in tune. Should be. I hate this reflective finish, so my new custom guitar I'm getting, I requested a non-reflective finish. Alright, another boring tune. Let's go. I'm not playing seriously until 10 minutes from now after I vape. You catch my drift. Let me just do some tuning. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna have to change my tone. That could be a little sharper. Just slightly. Ooh, even that. Now the trick with the Evertune is to remember we're on top of juggling a pick, right? There's a concept of juggling the frickin' hex keys to tune a damn thing. And then, oh my gosh, it got too many wires, man. Look at this. It's tangled in a wire and a wire. And then it got another wire. And then just try not to ding the guitar while juggling all these wires. Dinging a guitar makes it vintage, right? Where's the hex key? Oh, here it is. Hex key, where art thou? Alright, let me just fix this damn wire real quick. Okay, wire goes under there, the wires. Put this wire over the other wire, under the wire, over the wire. Okay, just a little tiny tuning to do. Would help if I turn the volume up. See, just a tiny bit. Wait, you gotta do the bend test. Okay, each string could bend. Because if it can't bend, then you have to tune the pegs to make it bend. Then you tune the hex keys. Just a little bit. Is that 99? Just a hair. That'll have to do. Okay, that's good. That one just a hair. You know, you see these new Gibson SGs coming out. You got the blueberry, you got the silver, you got the white, then you got the modern with 24 frets. Who wants 24 frets, man? Hey, I just noticed this. There's a gap between the frets and the pickups. I never noticed that. How come the pickup's not just aligned with the fretboard? That's interesting. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's on the edge. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright, I gotta set up my tone. I don't even know what tone I want. Do I want a crunch? Do I want a... Definitely don't want a clean. Let's see. Gonna switch headphones and go quiet, then I'm gonna go AFK for 5 minutes and lose ya, because it gets boring staring at a screen, I'm sure. So yeah, session 383. This is live. November 14th. Whenever I render this, half a year later, who knows? On my SoundCloud, I'm barely at session 312. I got like 60 sessions to render on my SoundCloud. And on my YouTube, I got 3 videos a day going. Insane. So much guitar. Okay, so if you're not aware, the entire goal of this whole session concept, podcast, episode format, whatever you want to call it, is include all mistakes, right? I had a bunch of mistakes in there. And one second. I just gotta name these tracks for later. That way later on I don't have to go, oh, what is this? And listen to it again. I just have to go by the track name. Blank. And then this is like Blue Sky. SG. Okay, so the entire point of this session concept, right? Include all the mistakes, you know? Be close to a robot, but still a human. Let's go to my stats. 65% accuracy. And you know, there I noticed I kept sliding up a fret, up too many frets. Or when I slid, do slides, whatever, I slid up +1 a fret than I was supposed to. It's, I don't know why. Getting used to this fretboard, I guess, because it's less of a scale length than the Fender Tele, and maybe my fingers are still used to the Tele where it's slightly longer. Maybe, perhaps, you know, the Gibson SG. And this tone is rather heavy for these humbuckers, man. I was on the middle pickup position. I don't get why guitars have tone knobs. Who really uses these tone knobs? Why don't you ever have them at 10 all the time? That makes no sense to me. But regardless, I'm going to come back for more. I'm brainstorming what to play. I have an idea of what to play. Probably going to stay with the same tone unless I switch it. I kind of don't feel like switching it. But you got to give me like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go AFK, take a breather, and then I'm going to play a bunch in a row. Okay, I'm going to sweat all over this guitar. Make it hard to play on the neck when it's all sticky and all that from the sweat. But you know, my favorite is when the strings are all nice and wet with sweat, because it makes the sliding that much easier. There's different swings, right? There's different strings, right? There's ones that allow sweat to get on there and wet, and there's strings that are like dry, natural. I don't like the natural ones because you got to slide. I really like that bonus of the sliding. It makes it effortless. But alright, my goal for today is to get more blisters on my fingers. I already got a few, but I could use some more. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Just give me a second. I'm here though. Tangling the wires again. You know, I was thinking of getting more guitar profiles. Like 10 years ago, I was doing a bunch of guitar profiles that I found online and converting them to Rocksmith. And I noticed there's a lot of fun songs that I know how to play the vocals for on the guitar compared to the guitar arrangement itself. And I'm thinking I should start going into that direction once again, but it's just a matter of tracking down the guitar profiles once again. I just don't feel like it right now. I mean, sure, it's really simple. You go to the site, you search, you click download, right? But hey, man, I'm just not in the mood. What can I say? So my E standard songs. I was thinking of doing one that I haven't played for however many, I don't know, 20 sessions. Ever since I did the drop C tuning, I did like 20 sessions on drop C. Hello to viewers, if you're here, you're welcome to type, chat. Otherwise, you're gonna get bored of just consuming my video and leave or whatever. I'm not sure how fun it is for you to watch this. But yeah, I'm gonna play something that I haven't played for, I don't know, what I say, 2 months? Okay, I should stop hyping it up and just play. So I'm just gonna go with the tone that I got. Overdrive, tweed. Maybe I'm gonna turn off the reverb in this next one. This right here. This reverb. Hit the power button right there behind the guitar. I don't think the next one needs reverb. Because reverb kind of makes it like more clean. Like sure you got overdrive, but it still brings a sense of clean. At least from my ear and my current presets. Alright, let me just get started on the next one. So yeah, if you're not aware, this is Song Visualizer project. It's written on Python, Pygame, PyGuitar Pro, inspired by Rocksmith and Guitar Hero, right? Turn the instrument from turn my guitar from an instrument into a video game controller, essentially, right? I'm playing the song, it's logging my notes, hit or miss, inside of a JSON file. You go to, oh yeah, actually that's not the one I wanted. Alright, I'm gonna switch headphones here. alternate picking makes it more difficult, more concentration. Sure, you could get more speed, especially in that solo part. 6, 9, 8. Funny enough, the D string, or sorry, the B string to the E string. Hold on, I gotta title this. So that's dynamic tempo based on my playthroughs. Lead pickup, no, bridge pickup, no, neck pickup, and neck pickup and rhythm arrangement. I just record the audio for later on and I listen to it just to get clarity, among other things, when I listen back. Anyways, so let's go to my stats. 34%. Wow. That's a lot of miss. Well then, the good thing is, every time I play it, actually no, that time I didn't do dynamic. I went to tempo and I went to load profile 1. There you see the tempos changed. Let's go back. So by default you go to tempo. Let's go reset. So reset it, it's default 141. Largest tempo difference 2 BPM between 19 and 20, but my preset, I did average tempo 87. I slowed it down to make it, I want to hit 100% of notes with all the notes displayed and just slow the tempo down. And that's what I did. So average tempo 87. Largest tempo difference is 60 between measures 18 and 19. In this area, the measures are grouped by tempo in chronological orders, like measures 1 through 18, 80 BPM, measures 19, 140 BPM. That's a 60 tempo difference. Measures 20 to 21, 120 BPM, measures 22 to 58, 80 BPM. And it just keeps going. And then one thing I fixed in this version, because I altered it recently, is the way the screen is rendered between the Mac and the Windows. I had each screen, like this is a screen right now. You're on the tempo screen, okay? And then there's like a dynamic tempo screen and the dynamic button. And there's a screen that I just had to refix because when I changed the way that the screens are rendered. So before I just had Python Pygame. And what Pygame by itself is just something called SDL2, where you could draw rectangles on the screen. You move the rectangles across the screen. You have sprites. You have a game loop. So I'm using Pygame. So I originally had each screen with different logic for basically the screen, what's displayed on the screen, everything that's on there right now. The text, the buttons, just everything is, on the screen right now. And it's active game loop, right? Which means this screen, even though nothing's going on, it's currently updating every frame 60 times a second. And you update the tempo, everything's updated live. I can hit the different buttons. They all have actions. That's different profiles, different BPM. And then you can have up to 5 tempos. Profiles for each song right now, and I have preset 1 saved to a dynamic tempo version. But anyways, the way the screen is rendered, just by Pygame default, there's something called Pygame Flip and Pygame Update, and they all go based on the screen. What you see, the screen resolution I have is 1900 by 900 with height, and the way that Pygame updates the screen by default is through Pygame Flip or display flip. And what flip does, it pretty much just clears, or it updates the entire screen, right? Like just everything. Of course, before that you would have to clear the screen of everything, clear the entire screen of everything, and redraw it everything 60 times a second. Even though you can't tell right now because it looks static, nothing's going on. But it pretty much draws it on the screen 60 times a second. So that's through the flip method. So originally I had these screens using the flip method. Other than the gameplay, I had update, And update is different because you could update only portions of the screen, right? So let's say I had the notes movements on the main screen. I know I'm going all over the place, but it all ties together and how this project is designed and written. So, oh, the score didn't clear. Anyways, the score, so every note that's moving on the screen, previously I had it update through just the Pygame display update function, and I would pass in portions of the screen that I wanted to update. So I'd have to draw the note, and then, sure, then in one frame you draw the note, but then the next frame you draw the note, but if you just go from frame to frame just drawing the notes without any form of erasing the previous frame, you're going to have just a blur. Like my notes would just be a blur moving down. It would, like the width of the base of the rectangle, the notes, you see how the base is wider for than the sustain. Sustain has less width. So each note is actually a base and a sustain. But it'll basically look just like the sustain width would be that of the base. And then the whole lane would just be filled with the note color. And you would not be able to distinguish the notes from one another so easily with this black space in between separating it. So currently, over time, I would look into graphics rendering because what Pygame with SDL2, it does purely just CPU. And on the Mac, I'm running this program on a Mac right now, and on the Mac it runs smooth, 60 frames. The notes are very smooth on the screen, and that's why I'm using that to play. But on Windows, I'm having issues where it's just stuttering down the screen on occasion. So I've recently had to look into getting away from CPU rendering into graphics card rendering. OpenGL, graphics card language with shaders, GLSL, whatever it is. Shaders, it's another language of code basically to render the screen. So the reason why I bring all that up is because I spend a lot of my time programming this project and not as much time as playing it. Like sure, I'm up to session 383 right now, but at the same time, you have no idea how much I programmed this that took it to get here. Like there's a lot of programming going in this project that I don't know if I could accurately portray in these videos. I try to show the features like the stats screen, tempo screen. But that's one thing I was trying to get into. I fixed something in this version. Was it 0.7s alpha? Each time I make a certain accumulation of pushes or changes in the project, I'd bump it up a letter. A letter, then a number. You know, the whole alphabet. So I went through the whole alphabet, what, 7 times? It's about to go on the 8th. Just, that's how I'm versioning this project. But when I made that transition of Pygame flip to OpenGL rendering with the shaders, there's a whole lot of details between, like making textures, well, the fragment shader, the vertex shader, how I'm using them. Skip all the details for now. And just say, when I made that change from Pygame flip to the OpenGL rendering, or modern GL, I had to update each screen, right? So this is a screen, the tempo screen, the Open Guitar Pro screen, the stats screen, the tempo screen, the pitch screen, the settings screen. I had to update each one for that new logic of how to render the screen away from the Pygame flip, because when you introduce OpenGL, you can't have Pygame flip. You have to use, I'm sorry, that's not true. I think I might be missing that. No, Pygame flip is still there, but it's another, I don't know. sorry, it's all off the top of my head. Let me just say there's one thing I had to change the rendering for each screen to fit the new format. And one area that I missed until recently is literally just one line change, is inside the tempo screen. The tempo, each group to measure by tempo has buttons on them. So yeah, it has sliders, right? You can change the tempo to be another group's tempo, and the measures merge. But there's a button on each group measure, is the edit button. And the edit button is the, what is it, edit measures screen. And for the longest time, I just like broke the screen because I didn't fix the rendering process. It's been however many different versions, and I just missed one line change because I never really used this edit measure. Like I used it once or twice. It's more of the interesting facts thing. Watch, what measure has the most? 16 to 47. Okay, 73 BPM. Let's go to edit measures. Oh, there's another bug there. It doesn't consider the index position. See, it says measure 5 and 6. Although I clicked measure 16 to 4, whatever. That's another bug. Oh, dang, I guess it's stuck like that. It doesn't consider the profiles. Let me reset it. It might be stuck. Yeah, it's stuck. It doesn't consider the index position, so I have to look at that. And even this bug, when you scroll down and up, like this, it doesn't, you don't see the measures anymore. Pygame's not built to handle this logic. Scroll bars, buttons, Pygame is not built for this. So there's some strange stuff. You have to do some stuff to get it. But anyways, looks like there's a bug where you're clicking you're clicking the measure, it's not sending you the right index. There we go. That time it worked. Okay, so this screen, the edit measure screen, it's more of an interesting fact screen. If you look at the bottom, you probably can't read it because it's too tiny in your screen. Measure 44 has the most eighth notes with 16. Measure 17 has the widest fret distance with 7. Measure 16, 18, 20 to 21, 23, and 25 has the closest string with a difference of 0. Measure 36 has the furthest strings with a difference of 3. Measure 46 has the most unique strings, 3. Measure 46 has most string changes, 5. Measure 44 has the most notes with 16. Average note duration, 0.39. So that's between eighth note and a dotted eighth note, because the eighth note is 0.25 and a dotted eighth note. No, sorry, an eighth note is 0.5 and a dotted eighth note is 0.75 float value. So if the average length is 0.39, oh, that's less than an eighth note. Really? That's like a 16th to an eighth note? Really? Well, I guess that makes sense. This is a fast song. Okay, then. Just imagine, though, that the average being a 16th. And, yeah, see, measure 44 has the most notes with 16th. Wow. So 16th notes with default 1 above 100 BPM. See, what I clocked my eye playing coordination to have 8th notes, 16th note, no, sorry, 16th notes. I can handle 16th notes at 90 BPM sight reading to an extent. So I kind of lowered, like, if a measure has X amount of 8th or 16th notes, or if a measure has a certain amount of 16th notes, or if a measure has a certain combination of 16th and 8th notes, then I considered the mid-90s BPM sight readable with this program. Granted, I have the tempo adjustment in progress where I hit a note, it logs it, hit or miss, right? So in that most recent playthrough, I had 68 BPM average. Oh, sorry. I actually went to the wrong song. Let's go back to Don't Fear the Reaper. There's something in an open guitar profile where if you hit back, it takes you back to the default song. So that's how it switched. So I have to go back to it, the song, and go to my rhythm. So the stats vary by arrangement, so I have to select rhythm because that's what I played last time. Stats, 35% accuracy. So what that's gonna do, it's gonna add that Next time I use the dynamic tempo screen settings. And this dynamic tempo screen settings is what I've been using recently for a certain number of songs, not all of them. Certain songs I went into Guitar Pro 5 and modified the tempo myself manually, but then I introduced this concept of having the program alter the tempo for me based on my playthroughs. I plug my guitar in. I have each note in the song is defined a frequency that I manually defined. Each single note chord there's a JSON file, string 1 fret 2, string 2 fret 1, string 3 fret 1, string blah blah blah. It has all that defined in a JSON file that this program reads. When I plug my guitar into it, it takes the signal, it takes that frequency of the guitar, and then it compares it to the frequency of the note. Is the note ready to play? Well, is it near the finish line, near the bottom of the screen? So the notes start at the top of the screen 2 seconds before it's expected to start, and it descends downward to the finish line in 2 seconds. And that it's considered ready to play when it's near the note start time. It gives a little forgiveness. It allows it slightly before. It doesn't require it exactly on the finish line. And what can I say? There's a lot of thought that goes into this project. So let me just play another one. I have another one in mind. So that was the Rover, obviously. That one's a little tricky. I mean, it's simple because it repeats the whole thing, the whole song, and it's mesmerizing in that regard. Fantastic album by Interpol. Let's see, it's the Rover. I don't know what the rhythm is like. I'm kind of curious, but at the same time, I want to go to the other one. It doesn't really matter or something? Off the same album. Another good, fun lead. Okay, that one, it's the notation teaches how to play that one. So I was getting carried away on the 5, 6, 8 on the second string because I saw the text. It had note effects written on there. Right now the note effects slides, bends, hammer-ons, pull off. It's written on the rectangle. It's not quite most effective way, right? You have to have I have to fix the visual for that. I don't know the solution yet. But I just knew it was a effect. And I was trying, instead of hammer-ons, I was trying slides. So I was sliding my first and second finger from my first finger to 5 to 6, then to 8, or the second finger from 6 to 8. And then there come that solo says, nope, you're supposed to do hammer-ons, because if you do those slides, you can't do this specific section. The double stops, the second string and the first string combined together. Second string, 5th fret, first string, 8th fret, first finger, 4th finger. From that position to the, what is it, the bar chord style double stop, whatever fret it was, 5 or 8. Yeah, that part, you can't do slides if you do that. Like, you can't, it's just not logical. Because you still have to slide back to get that 5th fret on the second string. That's why you have to do hammer-ons. What was it? Oh, it was, oh, I already forgot it. See, that's what sight reading does. You can see the notes. Well, let's see what else we got. So I want to try the dynamic tempo of Canon Rock. Let's see, because the last time, not this one. That one shouldn't count. That's the one I just did right now. But this one, from the session ago, whatever. Damn, I really need to fix that. I didn't play the full song. So my only requirements of saving the stats is if you have a score greater than 0. In that case, I got some notes, so it saved it. But I don't want it to reference it. Damn. Let me try something here. I'm going to cheat. Well, not cheat. I'm going to delete that file real quick and do dynamic tempo of the... Because before I got 70% accuracy. 76%, which is basically a B. Song visualizer. I forget where I put the stats. JRVC, Canon Rock. Okay, it's not that. Song stats. It's its own folder. Canon Rock. No, it's not it. Song. JSON output. No, wait, maybe. E standard. JRVC. Song stats. There we go. I could show it. This entire folder is just song stats. And see, this one's my favorite so far. Unreadable, but the main thing is... Oh, where is it? It's at the bottom. Yeah, it is. Total score, 1288. Total accuracy, 0.76. So 76% accuracy on Canon Rock is insane. Even though I slowed the tempo and modified the notation to remove sweeps. I'm going to delete the the one that has 0.60, because even though I didn't play the full song, it still counts everything as a miss because I didn't hit it. Now I'm going to go to stats, and the first one is going to be the, okay, there we go. And now I want to go to tempo, dynamic, and I want to reference just at first the most recent JSON file, the 76% accuracy, and I'm going to say I have to determine what I want here. Hit percent increase. Let's instead of let's go 50%. So it takes 30%. 30% increased. So if I have a measure where I hit 30% accuracy, then I'm going to increase the tempo by 15%. Okay, and then, I should have a filter for this. Require X amount of total accuracy, so it only filters the most recent JSONs within the limit if it has a threshold of accuracy. That way I don't have to manually delete. Okay, so 30% of notes hit is going to be 15%. And then, let's say 70% notes miss. I'll lower it by 10%, because I don't want to slow it down too much. So the max tempo, I'm going to limit at 90, because I don't remember what it is otherwise. Min tempo 33. No, I don't. I want to bump it up from 33, because I already have 33. I'm going to bump it up to 44, because I know the last measures, the measures 190 through 200, around there are 33 BPM. And I want it slightly faster. So I'm going to try to challenge myself here. But then again, at the same time, certain speed, if it's too slow, I end up playing worse. Because it gets so boring, you got to get the right speed. But how are you going to know the speed? This might be fast in some areas. Might be perfect. We'll see. 76% accuracy. Let's try to get that. I think I'm going to save that as a profile. Let's go to tempo and we go to save profile 1. Or sorry, save profile 2. No, let's go to save profile 1. Screw it. I saved this tempo dynamic because I like it. It's faster than you, because usually it's like what? Let's look. It's usually 51 BPM average with 10 minutes. So I shaved off 2 minutes. If you go to tempo and you go to load profile 1 and you go to apply, so 8 minutes, not bad. I don't think it's 76% accuracy. 66, oh. Maybe it was a little too fast, huh? What if next time I go back and I go to tempo and then I go to dynamic and then I go to previous JSON files 2 and I hit apply. Average 64? 735. Oh, wow. No, I don't want that. Because it rewarded me more than it reduced it because of the settings, right? If you go to settings, dynamic, 30% 30. If I hit 30% of the notes in the measure and then increase this at 15%, maybe that's too forgiving. Because if I miss 70%, then it deduces it by 10. So I have to miss more than I hit. Oh well. See, it's a matter of figuring out what variables is set here. I'm still figuring that stuff out. But that playthrough, 76% accuracy, then I had these settings and it made it go shaved off 2 minutes. I think that's pretty cool. I think it did a lot for me there. Some measures felt more fun because they were faster. Sure, I was missing it. I was missing notes, of course, because I'm not used to that speed, but I know the notation and I could eventually warm up to that speed. Just play it a few more times. That's what the whole goal of this program is. Yes, I modify the tempo, but I modify it based on my previous playthroughs. Where did I hit the notes? Where did I miss it? So that's fun. Never play the same twice. Okay, so I could do Mountain Jam, but I'm not sure that I really want blisters on my fingers. You notice I was having trouble bending the high E string because the Evertune I don't think is set 100% correctly. I think I should increase the zone range to bend easier because I had trouble bending. Like I was bending, but it wasn't budging on the Evertune because it wasn't adjusted correctly. Like the first finger bends on the 15s, 14 strings, forget it. And the higher up bends, I had trouble with those. Like I was bending, but I don't know if it was registering as much because of the Evertune. See, the Evertune is great for the SG, but you just got to figure out the bends before you play them. Do it beforehand. But okay, what else we got? I'll have to find out. Don't know how much more we got, but let's see. Oh, I know, I could hear one in my head right now. The one I always do. Hideaway. There's a mysterious bug. It's saying that I have score when I don't. It's a matter of adjusting that now. Let me go to Freddie King, song stats, date modified, today. I don't want to count that one. Let me go back to Jerry C. Cannon Rock. See, it saves my profile JSONs in the JSON, whatever. Then you have song stats. I don't want to save the one that's not 66 accuracy because I know I did one incomplete. This one is okay. I don't want this one because that's not the true playthrough. Okay, there we go. So next time I go into the that's why I did the dynamic tempo was off last time. But let me reset the program here. Gonna go because there's a bug with the score right now. Like you see I start the song over and it wasn't 0. But let's just go Freddie King. Oh yeah, Freddie King, Hideaway, tempo, dynamic. Alright, let's try again. So the secret of that one is the control of the sustains and the palm mutes and the staccatos. You have to do staccatos, palm mutes-ish, in order to get that key third string mixed in there, right? That's like the first time that I was able to get that third string in there. Like I've always had trouble sneaking that in there, and I think that's because I've always did more sustains than staccatos, right? You got to cut off those note lengths. That's why visually you can see um, the note lengths cut off visually, like the sustains, right? They're cut off after a certain time, and I was trying to abide that to have it, because what I have a habit of letting the note sustain and let ring out, and that's fine and all, but not when it gets in the way of the next note. You know what I mean? Alright, what can I do to fix this crap here? This bug I introduced is saying the score is 0064 because I keep adding to it. I think I just keep adding zeros. Is that what's happening? Oh, I broke it. Great. You can see the code in the... Wait, I don't have OpenE supported? Oh, that's strange. It's frequency map, because each frequency, right? Each string and fret has its own frequency based on tuning. I guess I missed that in OpenE, because that shows you how much I play OpenE. Never. I only played it once because I wrote one song in it just because my program can. Let's see. Yeah, OpenG is magical. I'm gonna have to do that again. I've been in Drop C recently. I'm waiting to get back into Drop C for my next guitar coming up. I don't want to use the current guitar for Drop C anymore. Then again, I can. But I got a noise suppressor. I don't have to run the C Suite aux anymore. But then I could also just wait for my new guitar coming in. Who knows? Drop C is fun though. Oh, I'm tempted. No, I'm already set up for E standard. I don't know what else to play though. I think that's pretty much wrapping it up. I don't want to do Mountain Gem. Do I really want to do Swami Swan? Alright, I'll do Swami Swan lead, but I don't promise good stats. I'm gonna learn the notation though. Maybe I'll do dynamic tempo. Let's hold on, before I play, let's look around. Stats. Most recent 59%. Okay, I'll take it. As long as it's not like 0. Okay, 9%, I don't want to take that. Because when I see that, it's like I didn't fully play it through. Buckethead, song stats. That is November 9th. That's the second file, basically. Let me go back and delete that. Move to trash. Okay, and then I go back to stats, and it's gone. 3%, I don't want that one either. Oh, that's rhythm. Never mind. I don't want this one. Let's go to stats. No, September 18th, 55%. Okay, I'll take that. Let's go to tempo. Average BPM 88. Let's do the wait, what was the max tempo? I don't have a setting for it. I need to add in max tempo. So max tempo is 93. Dynamic, let's go to 93. Min tempo. Oh, I should do the max and min before the screen, because I don't remember what it is. The min is 45, 73, 50. The min is 45 for one measure. Let's bump the mids, the min tempo to, I'll just keep 63. Okay, I'll keep this, 63. Previous files, the previous two. Hit percent increase. I'm not too confident on all the notation on this one, because I haven't practiced it nearly enough as I should. Tempo increase. If I hit 15%, if I hit 50%, I'll get 15% accuracy. If I miss 50%, I'll lose 50%, 15%. 50, 15. Okay, anyways, let's try it. I don't know how this will go. Let's see. I'm gonna say it's just the display of the score that's off because I noticed when I reset the song, it had 3 digits, but when I went to 3 digits, actually, it was a true score. It's hard to explain, but there's two different scores going on. I think what's happening is that when I clear the screen and tell it to render the score, something in that is not getting set correctly. It's displaying the previous score, and then the current score is still accurate. It's just the display of it is messed up from the last one. Um, because when I go in here, I see a score at 418, and I think it's accurate in here, just not on the display because of other logic. So it's kind of weird. Still in the process of upgrading the display logic between the Windows and Mac version, but now I know to keep out for score issue displaying incorrectly between songs. Okay, let's see. What was that? That was Swomi. So yeah, this song is hard. I don't know how I can't sugarcoat it. It's a lot of unique frets, right? Like the 14, 16, 18 down to the 5, 6, 9, up to the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, up to the 21, and it's fast and it goes through it, and it's tough. It's like I just haven't practiced this one as much as the others. Um, let's see. I may have to end it here. Yeah, I'll end this session here. Good fun session. It was, yeah, session 383, Song Visualizer version 0.7s, alpha, pre-alpha, private code, not public. A project I've been writing for 2 years. And many more. Okay, see you next session.